Today's maths lesson, we are going to be continuing with developing your understanding on geometry, and we're moving on from lines of symmetry in shapes and in the environment, and we're moving on to looking at how to translate shapes, coordinate and plot them and reflect them in 4-quadrant grids. So what do I mean by 4-quadrant grid? Just a quick recap. We mean a square grid that has been separated into 4 different sections. Now, as you can see on this grid, we have a y-axis, and the y-axis is always the vertical line that goes down, and the x-axis is always the horizontal line that goes across. So when you're looking at shapes, for example, we have got here a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided shape, which is a hexagon. It's not a hexagon, it's a pentagon. It's an irregular pentagon because not all of the sides are the same size. When I'm looking at this shape, when I reflect it, if I reflect it on the y-axis, then this is where the shape would be reflected. When a question asks you to reflect on the x-axis, then you would reflect down, you would go horizontally. So here you can see this shape here, as instructed here, is on the y-axis. So we've reflected shape A over there. Now, if I were to fold, if this was a piece of paper and I was going to fold this piece of paper down the middle there, that shape would slot exactly onto that shape. And here are the coordinates for the new shape. Let's check. 2, 2, always go across, 2, up 2. The next one, 3, 3, 3, 3, which is here. So you would plot that point. You would plot that point. The next one, 3, 4, 3, 4. That would be my next point. So 1, 2, 3. And because this is a pentagon, that is why we have 5 coordinates to plot there. So when reflecting on the x-axis, this means if I were to fold this piece of paper horizontally on the x-axis, what would these shapes look like in their reflection? Well, there you can see the one in the left quadrant and the one in the right quadrant. And again, the same here. Here you can see there is the letter A. There. Now, the letter A is representing one of the corners, and the mathematical term used when talking about corners in 2D shapes is the vertex. Okay, so this A here is on a vertex. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 vertices. One vertex, multiple vertices. Now remember, that's just a fancy name for corners, but you will see it coming up in your activity later. So take a look here. I want you to just have a moment and visualize, what do you think the shape that is reflected, this shape here on the y-axis, and it will also represent this shape here being reflected on the x-axis. Let's have a look. Have you got your picture in your head? Where do you think the A would be? What coordinates do you think it would be? There you go. That is what it would look like in the reflection on the x-axis. Sorry, the x-axis and the y-axis. So the coordinate or the vertex A would be 3, 4. Here we have shape A.